everyone, new video today. I realized that the light is reflecting on my glasses, so they're on top of my head and I can't see anything. So this is a very odd filming experience for me. What do I want to talk about today? Basically on social media, I'm seeing a lot of adoptees being called angry, and I've been called angry. It's not really unspoken, but there's a, I guess, how do I say it? Not rule, mannerism, that you don't invalidate someone's experience by just calling them angry. So, for example, it's like how I share about how I've experienced racism from society, and people are like, oh, well, you're just angry. And firstly, that's completely invalidating my experience. You're not saying, okay, I acknowledge this happened to you. You're saying, well, you're in the wrong because you have this reaction to an action. But then I was also thinking, okay, I'm angry. Like, so what? Being angry about experiencing racism seems like a normal reaction to me. Being angry can also be expressing grief. So when I'm sad, I get mad. Like, that's just how I react to things. And I think that expressing grief about being relinquished and being separated from your natural family is completely normal. So for the non-adopted viewers, I just, like, imagine your family right now, and then imagine being a young kid and taken away from them, and your body and your mind can't process what's happening. Okay, so maybe you want to argue, oh, it's the better life, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're being separated from a natural family. That's going to cause grief, that's going to cause trauma, and it might come up as anger. But there's nothing wrong with being angry. So adoptees, be angry, be sad, be whatever you want. And people who are listening to our experiences, it's fine to acknowledge that I'm angry because I'm expressing grief, but don't use that as a way to invalidate me and to silence me, because that's the big issue. People see posts about adoptees just sharing their experiences. It's not like I'm posting and saying, you specifically are a terrible person. I don't say that about anything really. I say there's a problem with the system and we need to fix it. But then people read the post, they feel defensive, probably because they've participated in the system in some way. And to silence me, they say, oh, you're just angry. So, I hope that sums up why calling someone an angry adoptee is so not cool. It's one thing to acknowledge someone's anger and to help them and support them and let them process their grief and trauma in their own way. And it's another thing to use that specific label to silence them. And as usual, Adam is behind the camera filming, so I think he has some follow-up questions for me.
You use the term invalidating, and I know I've certainly in the past been guilty of that, but didn't really realize that that's what it was at the time. Mm-hmm. Can you, as specifically as you can, like, define what invalidating is?
I mean, it's just telling someone that their story and their experiences and their identity doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they experienced. It doesn't matter if someone said something mean to them. It's just like, hey, you know what? You experienced that, and it's on you to be okay with it. So, for example, Adam, last year we made a video about it, but he witnessed someone pull their eyes into slits in front of me. And to invalidate my experience would be like, no, that wasn't actually racist. Or maybe, Lily, you're just too sensitive. People are gonna do this all the time. You need to stop being so bothered by it. But here's the thing. I'm a woman of color and I'm an adoptee, and it's not my job to make sure that I'm not offended by something. It's society's job to make sure that they're not being offensive and insensitive. So that's one of the big things. Stop putting all this work on us. I'm making videos and whatever and blogging because I want to give back and I want to help educate, but it's very hard to share stories and then have people just say like, you're making it up. You're too sensitive. None of this matters. There are bigger problems in the world. Like, I don't know, someone making fun of my eyes or the color of my skin or telling me that I shouldn't be bothered by my relinquishment, that's invalidation.
Earlier in this video, you said something along the lines of like, it's okay to be angry. And I had two kind of questions about that. How could a close peer, a partner, maybe a family member of an adoptee, I'm not sure if this is the best term, but like open up the conversation if maybe it seems like, hey, like they're going through something, I want to be a support system?
Yeah, so I'm probably not the best person to ask because I don't like people asking me questions and prying, but even if my response is like, nothing's bothering me, leave me alone, it still feels nice when I'm like, oh, somebody cares enough to say, hey, you seem a little off. Is there anything you want to talk about? I don't think the best option would be like, why are you so mad? Because that actually gets me mad. I could be talking about something and I'm not mad. That's another thing. When people call me an angry adoptee, and I was like, I wasn't angry until you called me that, because clearly you're not listening to what I'm saying and you're just using this as a tactic to silence me. So maybe don't start the conversation with, why are you so angry? Just say, hey, you don't seem like yourself. Is there anything you want to talk about? If not, it's fine, but I'm here for you if you need me. And actually mean it. Don't be the type to say like, I'm here for you if you need me. And then you give a bunch of cliched advice and you're like, okay, I'm sort of listening, but also I have other things going on in my life and I don't care.
So a follow-up on that last part. So sometimes like as a support person, I guess, is it good to just be someone who can like be there to listen? Like not necessarily be offering sound advice. That was really poorly worded.
Yes, and it's funny you mentioned that. Sorry, Grant, my dog, is behind me and he's pawing my butt right now. Okay, I will pay attention to you. So, you've heard me talk about my adoptee friend Erin here, and she just hosted a transracial adoption workshop, and so I was there as a panelist. But I'm trying to remember how the person phrased it. But they said, like, in their relationship and in their lives, they have to ask each other, like, do you want to just vent or do you want me to help you solve something? Or it was something like that. And I think that's important because sometimes I do really just want to vent, but then people are giving me advice. I'm like, no, I didn't ask for that. I'm just telling you this is what happened and I can figure it out on my own. I can process it on my own, but I need to say the words. And then sometimes, and I usually ask for it at this point, is I'll say, hey, can you help me figure this out? I don't know if I made the right choice. I don't know if I reacted in the right way. Something's going on, but I need someone else's input. But usually if I don't say that, then I'm not asking for help.
Okay, no, thank you. That's good to know that like I can ask that.
Yeah, maybe like find a code word. So if you want to just vent, just say the word and then like just let it out. Because keeping it in, I keep things in all the time and it's not good. Usually I write, I post videos, I blog, I used to dance. Now I'm going to the gym, but like you need to find some way to express what's inside of you. It doesn't have to be verbally. You don't have to write, you don't have to put it into words, but get the energy moving and out.
And how does the idea that it's okay to be angry play into kind of like the idea of some of your other videos that for someone like me who's quote unquote on the outside, having to understand that I can't fully understand your experience.
So how does that play into anger?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's just understand that I can be really angry about something and you will never understand why I could be angry at it. But let me be angry, or let me be sad, or let me be happy. And then understand that those emotions can change, which is kind of leading into what I want to say next. But I post these videos based on what's happened, and they're nuanced, and you have to understand the context, but people change. And I think one of the issues is advocates will say something, or adoptees will express one opinion about their story, and then life happens and you gain a new perspective and you start changing your opinion, you start changing your story. And then when you start expressing something that differs just a little bit from what you said in the past, people are like, oh my gosh, they're not being genuine. But honestly, I don't know any person who has kept the same opinion about everything in their life day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. I don't know. People change, people evolve. And so I will change a lot in a day. I could wake up and be really happy about something, and then part of me remembers something else that happened, and I'm like, oh, this kind of plays into adoption in this way, and now I'm sad about it, but the way I express sadness is through anger. So I'll suddenly be like frustrated or mad about something, and everyone in my life is like, what happened? And I'm like, you're not gonna understand it. And sometimes I just don't want to explain it because it's emotionally draining and it's work. It's a lot of work to constantly explain yourself to people. But I'm hoping that you can surround yourself with a good support system, especially other adoptees, because you don't need to explain yourself to them. They just get it. And it's very, very relieving to be around people, to be able to just look at them and you exchange that glance and you both know that something was triggering or something was bothersome, and you don't have to say it. You're just like, yeah, they know, I don't need to explain it. We're just gonna be in our spaces and our stories, separate stories, but experiencing the context together. So I hope this video was helpful. It was a little everywhere, but you know, that's just how it is. I've been on social media, I've been following more adoptees, and it has really hurt to see adoptees being called angry, ungrateful. You know how you can leave reviews and recommendations on pages? So many people are like, we'll never recommend because this person just complains about their story. And I'm like, no, what's happening is they're informing society about negatives of adoption because nobody talks about them. Everyone's constantly like, oh, adoption's such a blessing. It can be, but you have to acknowledge the complexities and realities so you can fully support your kid. Okay, I have no idea how long this video is. I hope it's not too long, and I hope you're still watching. If so, you can like it somewhere down here, comment, subscribe. I hope the ads are not too annoying, but again, like, I make like 0.0004 cents per ad view, so I'm really not making money, but it's a way to supplement my time and energy while I'm in grad school. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.